Okay, so let's go over some settings that, if for an advanced user, might be helpful in Rocksmith. So let's assume that by this point you no longer need dynamic difficulty when playing, most of your songs. You want all the notes thrown at you all at once, um, and you just you don't want to have to play the song several times over in order to get all the notes that you need. So that's actually fairly easy. So I've already launched Rocksmith. I've already selected my profile, and now I'm on the main menu screen, and I'm going to press the space bar for tools. You'll see down here it says space bar for tools. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. The very first thing I want to do is go to difficulty settings, right? And you'll notice that dynamic difficulty, level up, all that's grayed up and grayed out. And the reason that's grayed out is because I have selected override to max, and I've turned that on. And what that does for me is it eliminates dynamic difficulty and makes sure that I get all the notes at once. Some other settings, I hit the escape button to exit out of that and get down to some other menu options. Let's go all the way down here to options and select enter or click on it. Either or will work for you. Let's talk about the mixer. A lot of the songs, especially the CDLCs or custom-made, user-made songs, are going to not have the best quality MP3 in the background. A lot of other times, and so that will mean that their music volume is really low, and you need to turn that all the way up. However, with a lot of the Rocksmith songs, the quality is really great, and it's so loud that you can't hear yourself play. So by default, I set my music volume to 60, and I keep my bass 1 volume all the way up at 100. And so that's great for the Rocksmith songs because it makes my bass a little bit, official songs or custom songs where the music is good quality MP3 being used in the background. This ensures that my bass volume is louder than the music, and so that I can hear when I miss a note. I can hear when I'm playing it right or not. And you can always go back in and change that. But when I have the opposite problem and the MP3 really sucks, and it's a lower volume than it should be, I need to crank up my music volume, go to my bass, turn that down to 60. And that's the best setup for that, at least that I found. You'll also notice at the moment I have my sound effects turned down, and that's because they were getting kind of loud and overriding my volume on my instructions that I was trying to give you. So let's exit out of that. Let's go down to audio settings. The only one down here that matters to me is that I turn audio exclusivity off, and that aids in the recording of videos. That needs to be done. The rest I leave alone. Visual settings. Pretty much leave all of these alone except for venue mode. I go into venue mode, I uncheck the on button there, and that basically makes it so I no longer have the crowd that I'm playing in front of. I'm no longer playing in stadiums and stuff. And the reason I do that is because I'm not really looking for the game experience as much as trying to hear how I'm playing, and this ensures that I no longer have a screaming, chanting crowd, waving lighters, and so their chants and cheering is no longer louder than the music or my playing, and I can hear what I'm doing. Advanced display settings. Again, only thing I care about there, I've already changed it in another place, is the venue mode to make sure that's off. Play settings. There are some things you can do in here that are helpful and change, but the biggest, especially invert your strings. If you're used to tablature, you want to change this to on, and it'll flip your view of where your strings are on your bass upside down, and that makes it work the same way that tablature does, because tablature is basically written upside down with the thickest string on the bottom, not on the top. If you're not using tablature, ignore all that. You don't need it. Mastery mode. I make sure that this is turned off. And what mastery mode is, and I believe that this goes away automatically when you do your override settings that we did, the first setting that we did. But I go ahead and double check this and turn this off. This, and unless I want it, right? And then I'm okay with it. If I'm at a point where I'm trying to memorize a song, I've played it a good, 10, 15, 20, 30 times, and I'm ready to start trying to play it without it telling me what notes to play, then this is good to be on. But by turning it off, I ensure that my notes don't disappear. So if I haven't completely memorized the song, I don't want to just start hiding notes on me just because I'm on a hot streak. I haven't really taken enough time to memorize a song yet, so don't do that to me until I'm ready. And by turning that off, toggling that off and on, you can do that. Okay. Restore default options. If you ever screw up your settings and things just aren't working right, like you started messing around with audio settings you shouldn't, or video settings, display settings you shouldn't have, and now things are working funky, you can always display it back to default. So those are the settings inside Rocksmith that you'll find helpful. If you already know what you're doing and you're tired of it feeding dynamic difficulty to you, or you're tired of the crowd cheering and being louder than you're playing and you can't really tell how well you're doing or how well you're sounding, those are the settings you want to change and edit. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe. All three really help our channel out a lot.